Okay. This is I can't wait for it. And so today we're going to be covering this big ball of mess I have on my screen. And so what I did last night was I went through a list of all the stocks I ever charted that for the most part it took interest in, and I put it into a list of probably about I mean, I couldn't even tell you, maybe 100, maybe 120. I don't know if it's more than that, but it's a lot. It took a long time to do this, um, to do what I did. So last night, um, and I've been messing around with these tethers with Bitcoin, and to be able to predict, how the market will react, to these tethers, whether or not it has a correlation on regular stocks. And so I um I immediately just went through and marked the exact place of where the stock was and the high and the low um, of all the tethers. And some of them were, where the price point was underneath it, and some of them were on top. And I marked some of them red, some of them green. And basically, what I did was, if I felt like the stock was free of being constricted and the movement was wide open, I marked it green. But if I felt like it was like kind of being constricted in a negative way, I marked it red, and I tried to mark the outside ones green. I don't know if I held true to that over the 120 of them that I did or whatever, but I tried to hold pretty true to that throughout the whole part of it based on my best assumption. Now, I did get really um, exhausted at the end of it doing it because it was a lot of clicking. And, after doing about what, like 500 or 600 clicks or more, um, you kind of get burnt out. And so hopefully I kind of held true to all that, and I'm able to read this the way that I think I'm going to be able to read it. But what I wanted to see was based on what kind of tether pattern was there, where the price action was, whether it was constricted or if it was expanded. Did the market have a reaction to the price action, or did the price action have a reaction to the tethers like Bitcoin would? And it's just an experiment. It might be a complete bust. It might have no correlation whatsoever, and technically, in most cases, it shouldn't. But there are a lot of companies that are invested in Bitcoin that might actually be somewhat connected based on an institutional level, and so that might play a part in this. And so I'm going to go through each one kind of loosely in the beginning to try to create a um, a list of companies that looks like there was some type of effect to it, that looked like it had some type of um, response, I guess you can say. And so I'm going to change this list here. Um, let's see, rename it. I'm going to say BTC Tether Test. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these because they're all inside that bigger list anyways, I'm pretty sure. And so now I'm going to go back to my other list. I'm going to start at the top, and I have not changed the order. This is how I went through it. And at some point in here, I'm not sure if it was at the beginning or more towards the end, because I started to see like a repeating pattern on the way that the chart looked, where it was wide open, and it had the yellow and green up here and the blue down here. And then there was like the rest of it was in the middle here. Um, and it just kind of caught my eye because it was like, well, that's different from a lot of the other stuff that I'm seeing, and it looked wide open. So I wonder if there was like some type of like correlation. So I marked them with a red tag for the most part. Some of these might have been in the beginning, might have already been marked with a red tag, so it might not hold true to that. But I know Chewy was, and these might have automatically resorted itself, so it's probably changed its positioning here. It still looks like shit, so I'm guessing that's probably the same. I know I'm rambling, but there's a lot to cover here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to move this back here to where it was and see what changed overnight. Um, and it looks like, let me see, that that right there is where it was. So right now the stock hasn't really moved anywhere because it's in between these two lines, and it's kind of expected that it's not. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Right here, right off the bat, it's only been 3 hours in live market time, and it's an hour chart. So I don't really anticipate much. I really expect to see a lot more after a whole day, or maybe after like 2 days. So, um, but let's just go through these real quick. So that was Google. This is Coinbase, and so the price on this one was here. Am I reading that right? And the low point was here, and so it must have been the high point was here. And so this dropped down, price dropped down. So there's a movement. Where is this? 9, 12, 9 right here. Hmm. It's not showing the price was right there though. Oh wait, okay. I see. So on this one, the lines were up here above price action, and the price was down here by itself. So I marked that as a negative, that it was being held down by the price action. And so price had moved from this red line to up and then back down to right above that red line. Because all these lines are right here, I feel like that keeps it from moving. It's muting its move. And then this blue line coming down and coming back up, the blue line coming down is showing that it's moving up and then coming back down. This is coin based, so yeah, this would have a tether to it. So I'm going to add this to um, to my Bluetooth tether, because it's showing that it's being muted as a move. It's showing that with this blue line coming down, that it actually does go up. Price action does go up. It is responding to it. And then as the blue line goes back up, price action comes down. So you can see it right there. Um, so that is a positive response on a connection there to Bitcoin. This one here shows price action was right here and it dropped down, and the top line was here and the bottom line was down here. So since then it's bounced, and this is going up. So this is dropping down. This is following Bitcoin down. As this goes down, this drops down. And then, so this is saying that it follows the opposite of Bitcoin. So as this drops down, and then it goes up, this went up, and then this is coming down, but this is going up right here still. It is being muted by this move. Like if you look at these candles here, it's hitting this upper one here and shrinking back down to this teal one, and then hitting that teal one and shrinking back down to the red one. And then so it's being smushed in between these two. So it's really being held down. So I'm going to add this one as well, because, and again, it might be still too early, but it's just going to be a process of weeding out, right? Um, we're going to continue to look at this, and so let's do this. Let's mark this from where we looked at them, um, from here, and then we'll change the color of this to orange, let's say. And let me go back to these. Let's mark this as I looked at this here. And it's hard to say whether or not this is being affected by it because it's just consolidating sideways. So I'm just going to leave it. And then this one, we're going to mark that there. All right. So now let's go to ASML. And again, it's caught up in between these lines. So it's really hard to say, but it does look like it's being stuck in between these two lines right here. So it does look like there's some type of like correlation there. But without more information, it's kind of hard to make a judgment on it. I mean, there's only two candles here, you know? So we'll just add this one to it as well. Um, like I said, it's not going to be a matter of whether this is right or wrong. It's a matter of whether or not we see a correlation. And the next time I look at it, is there still a correlation? You know. So let's just keep going. I know I've got 10 minutes into this. I've only looked at 4, so I might have to make several of these videos, but that's okay. So, and the reason why I'm recording this and not live streaming it is because I want the better quality of it to stay. And so let's see, this is where price point was here, and then it immediately dropped down to this area down here. It looks like it bled through this red line, but came back, like it came back through it. Um, I don't see where the red line changed its direction or anything. It looked like it went further down and it started going up. Um, I don't see much of a change in these lines either. I guess the point of interest would be like right here. So from here to here, what's really drastic? This white line moving up, which caused this to come down. This yellow line moving up, which caused this to come down. And then it leveling off and then starting going down. This is starting to point down and then it coming back up. So there looks like there's a correlation there. And then look at this extreme drop of the blue here coming down. This pushed this red down. And then as it turned back up, the blue is really connected to that right there. As it turned up, this turned up. That's really strange because I believe this is I believe this is, I'll have to look this up. I could be wrong. ACMR. I'll have to look up that up and I'll look it up later for the sake of the video. But it that shouldn't have anything. There shouldn't be a connection there. Um, and you can probably find a connection in anything really. I mean, it's all up to interpretation, right? Perception is the reality, and so I could just be making up I could draw lines anywhere on here and watch price action bounce around it. Is it really doing anything about it? Probably not. It just, but my mind will make the connection, right? So, um, so after I do this line here, there's an immediate spike up in these lines here and a spike down here, and price action drops. I feel like that's a correlation. Like why would it spike and then immediately drop? Like it was consolidating right here forever, hours. Like this, I mean, at least 8 hours right here, 6 hours, 8 hours, right here, where it's just consolidating sideways, not moving past this point. It spikes right here and here and instantly drops. I mean, if that's not a correlation, I don't know what is. So we'll go ahead and mark that. And then spot. So it's consolidating right here and it works through this red line, but then it drops down, hits the red line, and basically stays above it. And so it's basically sandwiched between these two lines now. Um, Green candles as it's working through it, but being muted as the red line is pushing it down. Now it's underneath it. Should it be pushing up? Is it going to bounce up? Also, there's a change here in the character of this line right here. It's pointing up now after this indecision candle, which is also green, barely green. And you know, who got this little candle here that actually gapped down and now is like starting to form here. So is this an indication that this is about to turn and go up because now that red line's underneath it? And also when you look at the correlation of, I didn't mark those other ones. Let me go back and mark them. But these lines here after they spike up and it gaps down kind of. It's weird. It's gapping down and then consolidating, but staying green at the same time. This drops down, it gaps down. This goes up. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say whether or not it is or is not. It just looks like it's going sideways, and it's just because it's stuck between these two lines now, I think. So let's just mark it. Why not? Looks like we'll have a big list here. So did I mark? No, I didn't mark this one. So let's mark this one. I marked here. And then did I mark this one? I'm going to mark this one the same color right there. So point of interest, We'll make this dotted, and then that's the actual line that we looked at. Okay, good. All right, back to moving forward. So price action was here, and all the lines were down here. Now price action's down here, and all the lines are up here. So they swapped positions, and so I would say that's a correlation there. If 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 price is down here and all the lines are up here, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. This is where price action was. These are the lines where they were up here. And so it looks like the lines just pushed down. This blue one pushed down pretty hard. And then these lines right here kind of just oscillated down a little bit. And so this red line filled in the space where the price action was. And then these lines just kind of migrated south a little bit. But this blue line really had a big effect on this right here. It drops dramatically, and look at price action drops dramatically right there. And so there's this blue. So where this pivots up right here, there's a blue or a green candle right there. It's a small one, but it pivots up, creates that green candle in the middle of 4 or 5 red candles. Green candle right there. There's a pivot up, drops dramatically, continues dropping. I mean, I feel like that's a correlation. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling about nothing, but you know. All right, so 16 minutes into, I'm gonna have to wrap this one up and continue on the next one, but let's do one more. Wait, did I mark that one? Nope. Oops, let me get that solid. All right, URI, United Rentals. This should have basically the same effect as GNRC. Now, I do see the change right here is this line, this blue line turns up, and then look at the green candle starting to form as it turns up. That's like the first thing I see. And so, as it drops, it's red, but then as it turns up, it turns green. So I feel like that's a positive change of character right there. I think I have time for one more. Mara is definitely a blockchain company, I'm pretty sure, and so therefore there should be a correlation here. And the lines were, let's see, don't know where the second line was. There it is. It's way up there. So price action was here, where this red line is. Bottom line was right underneath it. And then the top line was way up here. The ceiling was way up here. And so then look at this blue line drop dramatically. And then look at the price action drop dramatically. There was only one line down underneath it. And then it probably was, it was yellow and red actually was underneath it. And they shifted to above it. And then red shifted back below it and now is back on top of it again. And if it's on top of it, it's probably helping pushing it down. So that is definitely being affected by that. So we'll mark it there. We'll go ahead and mark this last candle. And I'm going to end this video right here. And we'll go ahead and make another one starting from the exact same point. Thanks for watching. This is I Can't Wait For It. And this is Bitcoin's tethers and how they have effect on the retail market.